Hi everyone, long time no see. I've been caught up with my own stuff lately, so I haven't uploaded in a while. But today, let's dive into the legendary figure, Nezha from Chinese mythology, who also makes an appearance in Black myth Wukong. Who exactly is Nezha? What's his story? From ancient tales to modern movies, Nezha has become one of the most iconic figures in Chinese mythology. Whether he is taking on dragons or standing up to the heavens, this rebellious and fearless boy has captivated people's imaginations for centuries. Today we are going to explore the thrilling mythology of Nezha, a beloved figure whose incredible stories have been passed down through generations, inspiring myth, literature, and even blockbuster films. Let's take a closer look at his legendary journey and how this fascinating character has evolved over time. According to legend, Nezha was born during the Shang dynasty to a military commander named Li Jing. But this was no ordinary birth. Nezha's mother carried him for 3 years and 6 months. And when he was finally born, he emerged not as a baby but as a fully formed boy. Nezha's early life was marked by his exceptional power and mischievous nature. He was given a celestial ring called the Cosmic Ring, 乾坤圈, and a red armillary sash, 浑天绫, both of which were key to his divine abilities. Nezha's famous and detailed story comes from the Ming Dynasty novel, The Investiture of the Gods, or 封神演义. In this epic tale, Nezha plays a pivotal role in the war between Zhou and Shang. Nezha's early years were marked by his playful and mischievous nature, as well as his extraordinary power. One day, while playing by the Eastern Sea, Nezha disturbed the waters and angered the Dragon King, Guang, by accidentally killing one of his guards. But the real conflict began when Nezha, in a feat of youthful bravado, killed Guang's son, Bi. Using his 乾坤圈, Nezha fatally struck Bi, unaware of the magnitude of the consequences this act would bring. The Dragon King Guang was furious and demanded retribution. He sought vengeance not only on Nezha but also on his family and the city Chentangguan they live, threatening to flood their land and destroy them all. Faced with the danger, Nezha made a drastic and heartbreaking decision. In an act of self-sacrifice, Nezha took his own life to protect the city from the wrath of the Dragon King. He sliced open his own body, gave his bones and flesh back to his parents, and offered him as a tribute to the Dragon King in exchange for peace.
老爷，使不得！老爷，使不得，使不得呀！老爷，天命难违呀！
爹爹，爹爹。我一人做事一人当，不许你们祸害别人。爹爹，你的骨肉我还给你，我不连累你。
老爷您。
李靖，事情还没有完，年节要祭祀太子，按时送童男童女来。
Though Nezha's physical body was destroyed, his spirit remained undying. His master, the immortal Taiyi Zhenren, recognized Nezha's potential and the unfairness of his fate. To bring him back, Taiyi Zhenren first suggested to Nezha's mother that she build a temple in his honor. If people prayed at the temple, their collective devotion would help Nezha's spirit regain its strength and bring him back to life. However, when Nezha's father, Li Jing, passed by the temple one day, his anger and grief over his son's rebellious actions led him to destroy the shrine. With the temple shattered, Nezha's spirit was dispersed, and he was effectively killed again. Determined to give Nezha a second chance, Taiyi Zhenren devised a final plan. Using his divine powers, gathered lotus flowers and leaves to create a new body for Nezha, a body of purity and strength, untainted by past burdens. In this lotus-formed body, Nezha was reborn, stronger than ever and free from the limitations of his former self, ready to face his destiny as a divine warrior. Taiyi Zhenren also gave him new weapons, the fire-tipped spear and wind-fire wheels, which allowed him to soar through the air and fight with greater speed and precise. Reinvigorated, Nezha was able to return to the world and confront not only his personal battles, but also larger forces of evil. After his resurrection, Nezha joined forces with Jiang Ziya, advisor to king of the Zhou dynasty. Together, they fought to overthrow the tyrannical Shang dynasty, led by King Zhou, whose corruption had plunged the land into chaos. Nezha, with his refound power and divine status, played a crucial role in the war, defeating numerous powerful enemies and mystical forces. Despite his youthful appearance, Nezha's strength, courage, and fierce sense of justice made him a key figure in the victory over the Shang dynasty. His transformation from a mischievous boy to a divine protector illustrates the themes of redemption, resilience, and the possibility of change, making Nezha one of the most beloved and complex characters in Chinese mythology. Over the years, Nezha's story has been adapted into numerous films, TV shows, and animated series, keeping his legend alive for new generations. Let's talk about a few of the most famous ones. One of the earliest animated films featuring Nezha was Nezha's Triumph Against the Dragon King, released in 1979. This film, produced by Shanghai Animated Film Studio, was one of the first Chinese animations to gain international recognition. It focused on Nezha's conflict with the Dragon King and his eventual rebirth, showcasing the core themes of the myth. Interestingly, there's a Chinese band called Miserable Faith formed in 1999 that uses the images of Nezha's self-sacrifice as their totem. This powerful symbol represents rebellion, struggle, and defiance against fate, qualities that align with both Nezha's mythology and the themes in the band's music. Fast forward to 2019, and we have Nezha animated feature that took the world by storm. This 3D film reimagined Nezha's origin story with stunning visuals and a fresh, modern take on the character's internal struggles. In this version, Nezha is portrayed as an outcast who must overcome his dark fate to prove himself worthy. This film became a massive box office hit, and it is now the highest-grossing animated film in China's history. But personally, I'm not a fan of this version. I feel it completely changes the essence of Nezha's character, and I especially dislike how they made Li Jing, his father, sacrifice himself, something that goes against the original story. Nezha also appeared in many TV adaptations of Journey to the West, where he faces off against Sun Wukong. These epic battles between two of China's most legendary figures had fascinated audiences for years, keeping Nezha's rebellious spirit alive in different forms of media. Each of these adaptations bring something new to Nezha's story, but they all stay true to his core character, a rebellious, heroic figure who stands up to oppression and fights for what is right. Nezha's spirit resonates deeply with me, and in Black Myth Wukong, his character design is closest to the version of Nezha that I feel represents his true essence. Today, I want to explain why Nezha remains so popular, especially among younger generations, and why his story continues to strike a chord with many. First, let's talk about a key concept in ancient Chinese society, 三纲五常, or 3 fundamental bonds and 5 constant virtues. This Confucian doctrine outlines the 3 most important human relationships and the virtues required to maintain social order. Essentially, these bonds represent the foundation of moral and political life, placing a heavy emphasis on hierarchy and obedience, especially within families. As Nezha is the son of Li Jing, he was expected to follow everything his father said without question. In ancient China, there was a belief that your body, your hair, flesh, and bones, was given to you by your parents, which meant you couldn't harm it because, in a way, your parents owned you. It wasn't necessarily a reflection of love, but more about control. Nezha, in his story, rebels against this by literally giving his flesh and bones back to his parents, cutting all ties and freeing himself from the obligations of bonds and virtues. This act of defiance, slicing his flesh and serving his connection to his father, symbolizes a complete break from the oppressive social norms that have bound Chinese society for centuries. This is part of why Nezha is such a powerful figure. His willingness to challenge the bonds and virtues that confined him speaks to the struggles of many young people today who wish to break free from traditional expectations. Nezha's rebellion, his refusal to be owned by anyone, even his own family, has made him an enduring symbol of individual freedom and defiance against authority. That's also why I'm not a fan of the 2019 Nezha film. The movie alters Nezha's origin in a way that, for me, misses the spirit of who he truly is. Even today, the concept of 三纲五常 still influences Chinese society. While it has some positive effects, like promoting respect and responsibility, it can also create burdens, forcing individuals to live under societal expectations that may not align with their personal desires. Nezha's story remains a beacon of those who feel trapped, showing that it's possible to choose your own path, even when the odds are stacked against you.